Hello, I'm Maria, your Filipina insider. Today, we are exposing the brutal mechanics of the Pinay game. Listen closely. If you are over 60 and you truly believe that a 20-year-old girl from a remote province fell in love with your kind soul through a blurry webcam in 72 hours, you need to stop lying to yourself immediately. She isn't looking at the depth of your heart. She is auditing the depth of your bank account. I am Filipina, and I'm here to tell you exactly how my sisters are already planning to spend your hard-earned pension before you even clear customs in Manila. You have spent 40 years working, sacrificing, and building your legacy, yet right now, you are being viewed as nothing more than a piso Wi-Fi machine, valuable only as long as the coins keep dropping. If you are sensitive or prefer to live in a comfortable fantasy, close this video right now. This is for the mature realists who are tired of being treated like a walking ATM. By the end of this, I will strip away the vacation delusion and hand you the predator's map. I'm going to teach you how to transition from being a vulnerable target to becoming a respected partner who simply cannot be played. Your retirement and your dignity depend on the next few minutes. Pay attention, because the game is rigged, and I'm the only one giving you the cheat codes. Look, I get it. You've seen the photos, the swaying palms, the crystal clear water, and that sweet, shy smile on your screen. You think you finally found a place where you aren't just a ghost in a grocery store or a number in a social security office. You think the Philippines is this magical portal where age is just a number, and every girl is a province saint waiting for her knight. But let's be real, that tropical haze is a manufactured product. It's a theater production designed specifically for the Western palate. Those dating apps you spend hours on, they aren't romantic gardens. They are high-stakes stock exchanges where your retirement fund is the only ticker symbol that matters. Behind every "Good morning, honey" text is a girl being coached by a matriarch, pressured by 5 hungry siblings, and hiding a local childhood friend who enjoys the youth while you provide the lifestyle. This isn't a fairy tale, it's a survival economy, and you are the primary resource. And listen to me closely, it is not your fault. You come from a culture where your word is your bond, where "I love you" is a heavy promise, not a sales pitch. You're a man of the old school, a man who worked 40 years, sacrificed, and built a legacy. You expect that same honesty in return. You aren't being stupid, you're being a gentleman in a world that has forgotten what that word means. I know you're tired. I know you're lonely. I know you've spent years being invisible to women in your own country who look right through you because you have gray hair. You just wanted someone to look at you with respect and genuine warmth, and instead, you walked into a minefield. You weren't looking for a transaction, you were looking for a home. The tragedy isn't that you want love. The tragedy is that they know exactly how to weaponize that desire against you. But don't worry, the fantasy is dead, but your dignity is about to be restored. I'm standing right here with you, and we're going to rebuild your defense from the ground up. You've been the Joe for too long. It's time you became the one who holds all the cards. To truly understand why your sweet Filipina might suddenly turn cold when the subject of money is mentioned, you need to understand a staple of Philippine life, the piso Wi-Fi machine. If you've walked through any local village, you've seen them. Small, rugged boxes standing on street corners. You drop a 1 peso coin into the slot, and for a few minutes, you get a 5-star, high-speed connection to the entire world. You can stream, you can chat, and you feel completely plugged in. But the very microsecond that timer hits zero, the signal doesn't just lag, it dies. Total no internet access. In your world, you're used to a broadband subscription, a steady, invisible flow of data that's always there because you paid the bill once a month. You view love as an unlimited plan. But here, in a survival economy, many young women view a mature foreigner as that wooden box on the corner. You aren't a soulmate to her, you are the piso Wi-Fi machine. As long as the coins, the family maintenance support, the new gadgets, the birthday gifts keep dropping into the slot, your connection is flawless. She will provide the most high-speed affection and the most devoted attention you have ever experienced. It feels genuine because, for those metered minutes, the signal is indeed active. However, you must never mistake the strength of the signal for the loyalty of the provider. The moment you pause the piso, the no network found sign goes up. She isn't necessarily a monster. She's just a technician managing a metered resource. To her, connection is something you buy in increments, not a permanent state of being. Once you realize you're being treated as a hardware utility rather than a husband, you finally hold the power to unplug. Now that we've established you're being viewed as a hardware utility, let's look at the specific plays in the Pinay playbook. If you want to survive with your pension and your pride intact, you need to recognize these patterns before they drain you dry. The first rule of the game is what I call the hospitalized carabao, or, as I prefer to label it for the sake of your sanity, family maintenance support. Here is the direct fact. In the Philippines, the family is a collective, and the girl with the rich foreign boyfriend is the designated savior. The hidden explanation for this behavior is simple survival strategy. She isn't just a girl, she's an investment for an entire village. When a roof leaks, a cousin gets a cold, or the family water buffalo, the carabao, supposedly falls ill, it isn't a tragedy. It's a scripted opportunity to test the limits of your piso Wi-Fi slot. You'll recognize this immediately. You're having a lovely, spicy video chat, perhaps discussing when you'll finally get to taste the ripe mango in person, and suddenly her face drops. Tears flow. There is a medical emergency that requires exactly $200 by tomorrow morning. My instruction to you is simple. Say no. Just once. Tell her your funds are tied up in a fixed-term deposit for the next week. If she is a genuine partner, she will understand. But if the Wi-Fi signal drops, if she becomes cold, distant, or stops replying to your messages, then you know you're just a technician being bullied into an early payment. Never fund a catastrophe you haven't seen with your own eyes on a live video call. This leads us to a much more sensitive area, the shadow cousin, or what we technically call unresolved local affiliations. The fact is that many young women maintain a local safety net, a younger man, often labeled as a cousin or a childhood friend. The tactical logic here is that while you provide the rice and the roof, the local boy provides the spicy sauce and the physical youth that she naturally craves. He gets to water the garden while you're stuck paying the water bill from 6,000 miles away. You'll see this in the background of her photos. A handsome local boy who always seems to be helping out or just visiting. If you find yourself sending money that ends up paying for a bucket of beer for a group of friends you've never met, you're subsidizing her local romance. To win this round, you must be a detective, not a donor. Audit her social media and pay attention to who isn't working but is always eating at the table you provided. If the cousin is always there when the sun goes down, it's time to change the locks on your heart. Now, before I reveal the most expensive trap of all, the one that can turn your entire retirement into a bad debt, I want to mention something important. I dive much deeper into these specific cultural scripts and how to flip them in my private newsletter, The Insider's Map. It's a free resource where I share the exact phrases they use to guilt trip you and how to respond without losing your cool. If you're serious about being a kuya, a respected elder, rather than a Joe who gets played, you should probably join us. But let's get back to the real danger. The third rule is the long-distance ATM, also known as subscription-based affection. The fact is that many scams in the Philippines aren't smash and grab, they are slow and steady. They won't ask for $10,000 at once because that scares the Joe away. Instead, they want $300 a month for the next 5 years. To them, you are a passive income stream, a long-distance ATM that requires just enough maintenance, a few sweet texts, and the occasional private show to keep the cash flowing. You recognize this when the relationship feels like a monthly bill. You're paying for a nursing course that seems to take 7 years to complete, or helping with a business that never quite turns a profit. My instruction is the 3-month rule. If you have been sending a monthly allowance for more than 90 days to a woman you haven't spent at least 3 consecutive months with in the flesh, you aren't a boyfriend, you're a subscriber. Stop the subscription and see how fast the exclusive content vanishes. Finally, we reach the plot twist that most men never see coming: the momager. The fact is that the real villain in your romance often isn't the girl, it's her mother. In our culture, filial piety or utang na loob is weaponized. The girl might actually have a genuine spark for you, but she is being coached by a matriarch in the background who views you as a prize pig to be fattened and slaughtered. If the girl doesn't extract enough from your pension, she is shamed by her community for being bad at her job. You'll see this when you visit. Watch the mother's eyes. Does she look at you with respect, or does she look at you like a grocery store? If the girl defends your wallet against her family's greed, she's a keeper. But if she is the one handing the mamagere, the family maintenance support you just gave her for a romantic dinner, then you aren't marrying a woman, you're marrying a debt collection agency. To come out on top, you must vet the mother as strictly as you vet the daughter. If the mamagere is running the play, it's time for you to exit the theater. Now, I've handed you the map to identify the predators and the technicians. But here is the final revelation, the one that might actually hurt your feelings more than a stolen pension ever could. The biggest scam in the Philippines isn't actually something my sisters do to you. It's something you do to yourself. It's called the ego tax. The hardest truth to swallow is that many of you aren't being fooled at all. You are voluntary participants in your own deception. You want to believe you are the one grand exception to the laws of nature. You want to believe that at 65, you've suddenly developed a supernatural charisma that makes a 20-year-old girl forget about her own generation. Your ego is the silent partner in every wire transfer you send. You keep dropping coins into that piso Wi-Fi slot because as long as the signal is active, you don't have to look in the mirror and admit you're just buying a temporary escape from being alone. The most counterintuitive advice I can give you is this. If you want to find a woman who truly loves you, You must first be willing to lose the one who is currently performing for you. Stop the family maintenance support for 30 days. Don't explain why, just stop. If she stays and worries about your health instead of your balance, she is a queen worth every sacrifice. But if she vanishes, she was never yours. She was just a reflection of the money you were holding. You cannot buy a soul, and you certainly cannot buy genuine desire. A real Filipina doesn't want a Joe she can manipulate. She respects a man who is strong enough to say no. If you aren't willing to walk away, you have already lost the game. I know everything I've shared feels like a heavy weight, and you might be wondering if it's even possible to find something real in this minefield. Let me look you in the eye and tell you this. Absolutely, yes. I didn't give you these warnings to make you stay lonely in the West. I gave them to you so you can finally win. The Philippines is still a paradise of traditional values and genuine affection, but only for the man who keeps his eyes open. There are thousands of loyal, hard-working Filipinas who are tired of immaturity and are praying for a man exactly like you. At 60, you aren't old. You are seasoned, stable, and wise. You have a depth of character and a level of respect that a 20-year-old boy in a village could never understand. To a woman with a good heart, your experience is your greatest asset. You aren't just a pension, you are a sanctuary. You are a man who has built a life, and that makes you a prize worth more than gold to the right woman. Now that you know how to spot the technicians, you are finally free to find a partner. You have the map, you have the strength, and you deserve the happiness that's waiting for you on these shores. Stand tall. Your queen is out there. So, there it is. The truth isn't always pretty, but it's the only thing that will keep you standing tall in these islands. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever felt that Wi-Fi signal drop the moment you hesitated to send a medical emergency fund? Or have you met a momager who looked at you like a walking grocery store? Share your story in the comments below. My mission is to ensure that good, seasoned men like you find the respect and companionship you truly deserve. The world is lonely enough. Your retirement shouldn't be a tragedy. If my insights saved you a headache today, consider supporting the channel. A small tip for a bucket of Jollibee chicken or a cold San Miguel beer means the world to a girl like me here in the province.